Welcome back, everyone. We just finished up Game 1 between Rampage and Burning Core, and once again, this is Joshua, Joushi, Howard, and Zane, Zen Nelson coming at you from the worst place in the world to be casting Japanese League of Legends from.
Yeah, here live in Japan. Not Japan, Seattle. You know,
Did
it's
you...
been a it's been a long time.
how did you sleep before this started? Because I know we both tried to get some sleep before it started, simply because we both have work tomorrow, and there's no way I'm going to stay up that long to cast this kind of thing.
Yeah, I slept okay. I tried to sleep at about I think I went to bed at like 9:30 PST and I got up at 2:30.
You got more
Um
than I did.
that was my attempt. I like lied awake in bed for like 4 hours, but
Yeah, it's not a
uh,
normal time. Normally, I would be going to sleep about 3 a.m. I tried to go to sleep around 10. My body's just like, nah.
nah, pass.
Nah.
Sorry.
But it's all
Not
right.
feeling
We're gonna be getting into game 2 picks and bans in just a moment. Let's just go back and talk a little bit about what we saw towards the end of that last game.
right. We saw Rampage take a decisive Elder Dragon call. They've been dancing around it for a while. Eventually, they just, you know what? We're just going to do it. We're going to force things. We're going to make this happen. Knowing that they have 4 dragons available to them, they make the play.
Whew.
We see Burning Core attempt to stop it. We saw a very aggressive flash forward out of Hollis. Didn't end up quite securing the kills on Yutori Miyasi and on Ramune. And unfortunately, Burning Core just fell apart in the team fight after that. Evie landed a fantastic, I believe, 4-man Gragas cask ultimate, and just cleaned up from there. Rampage quickly won immediately after that.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you play these long games of League of Legends. They're often decided by a single team fight. Did you see how many observer accounts they had spectating this game? I think I saw 7.
Dang,
That's
that's a lot.
a that's a lot. That's really cool to see all the different things that they can do. But that's how many angles you need. You probably got one watching every single lane, and then the masterminds doing the rest of it. But it's yeah, we're getting into picks and bans once again. Banning away both the Zed and LeBlanc, and they're on the same sides of
That's
the map.
interesting. So Burning Core must have had the option and chose to stick to the same side after playing game one. And also, thus far, no ban adaptions from either team. Happy
Yeah.
to take the same bans. I wonder if Rampage is just going to take the same team composition. Are they going to pick up Lee Sin and
Nope.
Thresh? Like,
Opting for the Thresh right away, that does leave the Lee Sin available for Burning Core, something Osterare, and any jungler with the salt at this level of play needs to be able to be very comfortable on. But, Braum. Yeah.
interesting. I like this. I like this adaptation. If Burning Core locks it in, Braum is great into Thresh. He's got the huge damage reduction on the shield. Not really a champion that Thresh wants to use his hook into. So I'm curious to see how it works out. However, Braum is sort of susceptible to poke champions. Not that he takes a lot of damage from poke champions, but he
Dude.
doesn't have a good way of engaging on them, right? It's very
Yeah.
defensive support.
We do see the Zarya coming in once again for Zeros. I think that, that's telling me that it's just kind of a champion he wants to play. I'm not convinced it's a power pick yet, but it's definitely a very solid pick overall. And we are seeing once again Tussle and Yutori picking up the exact same characters they played last game. The only difference here being the Thresh. Um, we were talking a little.
Why break what isn't broken, right? Until Burning Core proves that they can handle the Varus and the Lee Sin, why switch it up? I like the confidence from Rampage.
I like that Ari pick. Ari pick's a great blind pick at any point in the draft, and we really needed to see Hollis on something that he was capable of doing things with. The Oriana was fine, but it didn't have a lot to enable it. You know,
Right.
you don't, you're not going to see Galio getting into a great spot unless he gets a fantastic flash taunt off for the Shockwave to do a whole lot. He's oftentimes a secondary engage tool, and they had the Thresh last game, right? Yeah, they did that. That's an okay ball delivery system, but Legato was either not confident enough or was not in a spot where he could use those hooks to get in and just let Oriana do the thing he wanted to do, and Hollis ended up having to flash forward, not do a whole lot. Like imagine that last game if Mei Z was playing Jarvan instead of Galio.
Definitely would have been a completely different game. I want to talk about what this allowed Burning Core to do in their draft. It's kind of cool. By picking Ahri early on, during the first half of the draft, they were able to pinch Ramade's champion pool, which is something that has been a bit of a weakness in the past for Rampage. You saw that happen at MSI. Once Syndra and Oriana were banned, he sort of struggled to play other champions. Now Burning Core has banned maybe his 3 champions. They banned the Karma away from game 1. They banned the Oriana, and they banned the Syndra. So I'm curious what he's going to choose to play. Hollis has a strong advantage in this lane thus far.
It's probably gonna be Talia.
Probably.
Yeah.
that was banned in the game 1. So I'm happy to see Talia.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of that champion, Miss Eyebrows here, but it's definitely something that Rowan has fallen back on. It's probably his 4th champion after the 4 that we see banned out: Syndra, Karma, Oriana, and then we get to Talia as the next one. LeBlanc's also something he's pretty comfortable playing, but I really, really like Burning Core's draft overall. Picking that Gragas as your 4th pick, that creates a great flex opportunity for both your top laner and your jungler, and they do choose to wait to see whatever he picks up. He does pick up the Galio, and that gives a great counter pick in the Renekton. Unfortunately, this is 7-10 Renekton.
Right.
There's been a lot of talk, especially amongst Renekton mains, about how all of the animation canceling and a lot of the smaller things that gave a lot of burst potential and power to the champion are gone now. They are reverted back in 7-11, so we do have them on the next patch, but it's something that kind of fell off the face of solo queue anyway for 7-10, and we'll probably see it a little bit more going back, but not sold on that pick simply due to the power of the pick, but I think it's a great theoretical pick anyway.
Yeah, and I think that I'm excited to see how Mei Z handles the Renekton. I do think that it's a good choice into Galio. Like I said, like you were mentioning, I really like how Burning Core adapted and played the draft. I believe that they played the draft better than Rampage. It's just, can that convert into actual game prowess? Talia is a pretty good pickup into Ahri. Makes it difficult for Hollis to use that ultimate ability to lock her down. If Talia throws down the rocks on the ground, then the dash really hurts Ahri. So Hollis will have to play around that. I'm curious to see how that matchup will go. And here we are, getting back into the game.
I mentioned this, but it's a Darkstar bot lane. Darkstar Varus, Darkstar Thresh. Very spooky down there in the bot lane for Rampage, and we'll see if that little advantage that they give helps out. A little production issues coming out from LGL. This isn't something we're used to seeing from them. Yeah. They've usually been pretty crisp for the most part. There see Revel taking
smiles from the commentators as they look at the screens. I've been there too. It's tough sometimes. Things don't work the way you want to, and you have to adjust them on the fly.
Yeah, it's great. You just roll with the punches, deal with it. I'm sure we all were watching MSI where the observers were having a little bit of trouble, not necessarily the same level as what we're used to previously, but here we do see damage.
Yeah.
But we do see.
Actually, you were talking about the Talia level 1 screwing up the camp. That's immediately what Ramone went toward. Hollis is gonna stop him from doing that, but clever play.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to see exactly if will they do anything to stop it? Because that is something that can put your jungler surprisingly far behind. For even just losing that single small raptor means that they don't get level 2 as they're fighting the large one. So, less health, less abilities. We're going in, and Romney is not going to do it. But
Yeah,
it's okay.
well, forced out by Hollis. Pretty interesting idea there, but unable to find something. Evie tried as well. He threw out a Q, but I don't think it got anything. Asterari
Yeah,
able to
this
just
is
pick
some
it up.
early fighting. I don't think this is something Evie really wants to do. Good on Mei Z to get all of that early damage down onto Galio. He should be alright. He's got the corrupting potion as well as the nuts wave clear that we've seen coming out from Galio in the past. And anything interesting here? No. Whoa,
Not
double
particularly.
bond of stone.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. It gives you the new Bond of Stone gives you 5% max health, just as a passive, and then
Uh-oh.
also
Tussel's looking for
Tussle playing
Asterori.
aggressive.
Does land the Resonating Strike. Is going to go in. I don't think he's going to get a whole lot more, but it does force him out of the jungle and give plenty of information to Tussle and Dara as to what's going on in the rest of the map. Ooh.
Asterari, they're looking to contest this Gromp. This is a dangerous position to be in.
Yeah, Asterori is pretty low if they do choose to fight here, but Zerost is in a much closer position than Utori is, not willing to give up all the CS for that. And a lot of time wasted perhaps, but just not very successful with the invade overall.
Yeah, Tussle, he's only level 2 now.
Round 2.
Asterari has made it all the way to level 3. This is really dangerous.
Yeah, he's going in. He does have the red buff. Is trying to get the wolf. Does pick it up. Picks up the level 3. But Hollis is faster on the roam coming out. Romney is going to make it here. Hollis is almost out of mana. He's going to get like 1, maybe 2 spells. That was an interesting set of rocks. And it is going to be Tussle going down. Blowing his flash there as well. And the cleanse from Ramune. Red buff on the Hollis is going to be very dangerous. This is...
What?
Whoa.
What is going on? Okay, so Tussle really wants to make it aggressive. He felt like he had an advantage from the level 1. He thought, Asterori, I pushed him out of the lane. Maybe I can get something down. I have this red buff. I really want to make something happen. Not the right time to make it, though. Walks over like 2 wards, and Burning Core, quick on the reaction, able to pick up first blood there.
Yeah, that was nuts. Tussle is one of the better junglers in the region, but yeah, that was weird.
Not a mistake you see often. And now look at this, Asterori. Careful about his own blue buff.
Yeah, that's scary. We do see a decent advantage coming out of the bot lane simply because what was it? Zeros and Legato roamed up a little bit to help out, but they didn't get any assist for themselves. Nothing was blown on the side of Rampage, and now they're running around doing what they can to try and stay even, but giving a gold lead to Utori is something you never want to do, and that's good play, good damage onto Zerost.
Yep. Had the minions not quite been in the spot that they were, Dara could have followed it up with a Thresh Hook that would have probably forced summoners out of Zeros.
Yeah.
Sort of unfortunate minion pathing there. Here comes Tussle. Just happy to put down some wards.
Rampage really likes that pink ward in that bush. They've done it both games at about the same time in the early game, and this red buff on Hollis is pretty good. Pretty good, absolutely. And Tussle is spending so much time in Burning Core's jungle. Finds the
I don't
drop
think he
again.
got spotted out.
I don't think so either. I think he's going to be able to get this one. But it's just like, wow. Calm down, dude. You don't have your flash anymore.
Yeah. Looks like
Romney's going to get pressed on very quickly, and that is going to be a very quick kill for Hollis. And this is the Hollis we wanted to see. That Ahri play was clean. There's no cleanse on Ramune. That was great.
Oh, hook lands.
Yeah, heal comes out of Zeros very quickly, as well as the exhaust, and that's a 3-for-1 summoner trade. Tussle is here. He's level 5, but if he does land this, there's no flash. Does get the return kill. And that's the kind of play we're expecting to see from Tussle. He does spend a lot of time, being very aggressive. And here's Gragas. This is a
I'm
weird
helping.
game. I want these minions.
These ones are mine. Sorry, Zerost. I need them
But
for reasons.
but for real, that's probably a good move overall. It does, reduce the turret pressure that Yutori and Dara are having pretty significantly. It is a growing CS lead for Yutori, but they're not going to lose too much of their turret like they might have otherwise.
Yeah,
Um,
and it allows Zeros to. It looks like he's considering backing. He's just waiting to see if Yutori continue to push into the turret.
yeah, here
Make sure
comes
there's not
Ramune.
to
He's
but
on
here
the
comes
backside
Ramune.
of Mei Z. He does not hit the Q particularly well, but he does have the dash thing going out.
Oh, the
Not a whole
flash.
lot of damage. Not a whole lot left for them to do. Yeah, that was a little interesting. Neither Tussle nor Ramune were level 6 yet. They do get the flash from Mei Z in hmm. Yeah, this game is
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. A good flash from Maisie, able to dodge the Ramen uh ground, the Ramen AW, but not quite able to transition that into a kill. Tussle as well, I believe, missed his Q, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Um, just not a whole lot of damage this early on from this team. You really need to land
Oh,
your
good
skills.
hook. Good death sentence coming out from Dart. They're not going to get a whole lot. Very good Unbreakable coming out from Legato, nullifying almost all the damage. A little bit of damage there. Ramene's struggling right now. He's down 16 CS at 8 minutes. Hollis has got 2 kills. He's got his ultimate coming back up. And
Oh no,
Tussel's in a bad
Tussle.
spot. He's fine.
Whew. Man, Tussle is playing so fast and loose this game. I kind of love it. You know, it's always great to see junglers play really aggressive and make moves for their team, but it's stressful.
Yeah,
Stressful, man.
it's very stressful. It's I don't know what to call it very much other than like we have a mutual
Ooh.
friend. Good hook, but nothing coming out of it. Legato's out of mana. Um, but it's Austin play.
Yeah, yeah. We got a friend named Austin. This is what he would do. But
Super aggressive. It didn't work the first time, didn't work the second time, but the third time, if you just keep ramming your head into it, it eventually has to work, right? Doesn't
yeah,
matter that your opponent's 4-0 now because it didn't work the first 4 times. The fifth time's gonna be exactly what you need, but that's a large CS lead coming out for Yutori at such an early point in the game. 20 CS at 9 minutes. He's gonna back. I wonder if he's gonna go for the Blade of the Rune King. Oh, he's
ooh,
not backing.
they didn't back yet. Oh, but the Q
Ooh.
will reveal them. Recognize the burning core is still in a little bit of danger. They'll be able to
Yeah.
walk out of it just fine.
And there's a good ward there near the Rampage blue buff that is showing that it just came up, and Hollis and Astaroth are starting to move around. Uh-oh, this charm's going to be big. Misses it. Does come get the cleanse. Misses the charm as well. Dodged a lot, but it doesn't matter. This is exactly the reverse of what we saw the first time. And by holding on to the charm, Ramune could not use his cleanse to reduce the ignite. And that was really good play from Hollis, and we're gonna see the Hollis we wanted
Oh,
to see the first game.
yeah, I really like the adaptation from Burning Core playing aggressive in the middle lane. Definitely a good pick up for them. Here comes Evie though.
I don't think this is a good fight for them. They're getting a lot of damage onto Asterori, but not finalizing the kill. Evie is forced to use his ultimate just to try and save Tussle. He does secure his own blue buff. Ooh, it's a scrappy fight, but Ramane's back. He has his ultimate, the Weaver's Wall. If he does choose to use it, this could be really big. They're chasing as if they want to, but not a whole lot. The gold
Yeah.
lead is only 500, 3-1, and it's probably almost entirely on Hollis. Let's be real.
Yeah. He's been making plays. He's been making moves. Definitely great to see him
Uh oh.
sort of return to form. Evie in a bit of trouble now. Getting unfavorable trades. You can see why Maisie chose to play Renekton even on the 7.10 with all the weird mechanics changes to Renekton.
Yeah.
Definitely a very strong lane bully against the Scalio.
Huh. They saw that Lee Sin was nearby, and they were too scared to finish that red buff. It was very good, cautious play. A lot of respect giving out to Tussle, especially seeing how ridiculously aggressive he's been this game. Um, they don't pick it up, and they were just so low. I do like the movement that they did. But Romney's gonna need some help. He's
Yeah,
gonna need a lot of help.
absolutely. Forced into haunting guys first just to have any sort of cheap damage spike that he can find in order to combat the strength of Hollis's Ari. I like the pickup, but it is going to set him further behind when we hit that like 20-minute mark, when you would expect Talia to have like a Morella Nomicon or something. They're not going to
Yeah.
have it.
Especially now with the new Banshee's Veil, that would probably be a great pickup. We used to see Abyssal Scepter. They switched places, and now Banshee's Veil is the AP item, where Abyssal Scepter is the tank item. It's a good spot.
Abyssal Mask in
Oh yeah,
7.11.
yeah. We're on still 7.10, man. I can still use my outdated terminology, but
All right. Oh,
bot
Dara misses
bot
the hook.
lane,
That actually probably would have been a kill with
yeah,
Tussle right nearby.
bot lane hasn't backed yet. We just saw the gold amounts. Yutori is sitting on 3,700 gold. Zeros is
Whew.
sitting on 3,000. They're gonna go. They're both gonna back and have like a full item as soon as they back. And with this dragon coming up, both these ADCs are so weak. Uh oh.
Tussle being sneaky. I like this.
Oof.
Unable to find the Q to connect.
Oof. But
But I
yeah,
like hiding in the dragon pit. That was clever.
yeah. This bot lane is gonna be so weak. If whichever team pulls the trigger and gets a successful 4-man off first is gonna have such a big lead. Right now, the goal is dead even. And both the junglers are chilling in the bottom half of the map. But man, any aggression by either side into this bot lane would probably, could very easily determine how the rest of the game goes. Man,
Yeah.
40 CS. Yutori doing well.
Yeah, especially at this stage of the game, you can see how both junglers are sort of adapting to this change. Yutori doing a really good job too of forcing Zerost into an awkward
Uh-oh.
position. Oh, here
Flash
we
coming
go.
in out of Legato. House to Rory is here, but that's going to be it. Get the flash off of Yutori. That's a good trade overall. I have to say, next time Asterari comes down, it should be a kill onto them. But this CS lead coming out of Yutori over Zeros is giving them a gold lead.
Yeah, and I definitely feel that maybe a bit of miscommunication there from Bird and Court. You saw that Asteroid was on the way to the bottom lane, but was not even close to following up the Braum ultimate. So had they waited just a little bit longer before pulling the trigger, maybe they could have made something happen. Unfortunately, not going to be the case. At this
Yeah.
point,
They still
as
haven't
weird as
backed.
it, at this point, as weird as it is, though, Rampage is right, because they know that they have this huge CS lead, and they're forcing Zerost into this awkward position where he's in a disadvantaged lane. Dara has been landing hook after hook, right, and
Yeah.
he can't back, or else he gets even further behind. So although it looks really, really weird, I like the choice from Rampage to keep the pressure in the bottom lane.
I want to see them do something with it. Dive Zeros and Legato. I mean, it's a Braum. He doesn't have his flash anymore. He doesn't have his ultimate for a little while. I know your mid laner is behind, but a good Weaver's Wall associated with like Tossle going down could, cement that lead into something huge. Zeros,
look at that back. Just casually buy a Blade of the Rune King, boots, and 2 daggers.
Like,
what?
what? And Zeros is gonna do the same thing. He's gonna go back and probably have an entire Essence Reaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
just Japan things, That's awesome though. Now both teams in the bottom lane have to be really careful because they've been playing around a certain power level, right? And that power level just got blown right open. And sometimes that sort of disparity can sort of mess you up for the first couple minutes. Like, at this point, if Dara lands a good hook, someone's dead.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, you chunk somebody to
Hollis is going in. Tussle's there. They're doing a lot. That's a lot of damage coming out. Dragon Rage comes in, and the easy RQ coming out from Tussle. And we're starting to see that doesn't actually extend their gold lead almost at all. They've been sitting at the same point for like the past 10 minutes or so after all the early kills.
This turret will, though.
Yeah, this
First turret of
first.
the game looks like it's going to go over. Well played by RPG and well played by Ramune and Tussle. Ramune definitely baited out Hollis, knowing that Hollis is an aggressive player and he's got this advantage with the Morellonomicon spike, um, but unable to convert it. And
Yeah, and
now
here
rotating
we
their pressure
go.
down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, we do see Ramne untussle behind. Does get the death sentence onto Braum. Dara goes forward, gets the wall down. Not doing a whole lot of damage. Tussle doesn't have the ultimate available to them. Again, this might be a little bit too early coming out. Just like you were talking about with Legato flashing forward. Dara did a similar thing. They do get the turret. The pressure is enough, but they also probably could have gotten 2 kills if they had been a little bit more patient.
Yeah, or had Ramune and Tussle been on the same page and approached from behind the turret, I feel
Mm-hmm.
the turret that Tussle could have tanked up a couple shots. However, Burning Core will be able to trade this for this Rift Herald, which will likely net them a kill in return in the next couple minutes. So overall, not the worst thing in the world for them.
Yeah, the Rift Herald, I do really like the changes to it. Before, it was just kind of whatever. You only got it if it was free because everybody was on the other half of the map. But now we are seeing a lot of teams go for it simply because of how much pressure it provides. But
Right.
first turret's down, top lane goes bot, bot lane goes top. We've seen the story 100 times. We'll see it 100 more. We just got to get that next turret down. And right now, Evie's doing a great job against Maze's Renekton. He's still, he's only a couple CS behind. That's not even a lead. And with the extra gold in his pocket, Evie is definitively ahead of, of Maze right now. And Maze had the counter pick. Maisie did, he's playing a fantastic
Mm-hmm.
early game carry champion, but he hasn't done anything with it, and I'm worried that, Renekton doesn't get stronger. Not really. He's at his strongest point probably of the game right now, and he's just gonna cycle into a tank at this point, and all of the carrying needs to be done by Hollis and Zeros at this point of the game.
Yeah. And I mean, we've seen it possible, and it looks like Burning Core is ramping up to make their composition very pick oriented. You can see now 3 Red Sweepers immediately picked up. Um, Burning Core wants to find, those bushes and lay down traps with the Hollis Charm, with the Zerost root that you can get from a Q plus an auto attack.
Yeah, and just walking
So
into Renekton's never a fun thing. Where is Evie's bot lane again? It looks like, yeah, they're skirmishing it up. The magic damage shield's not doing a whole lot for him, but he is going to be able to walk away. He doesn't need to win the lane. We already see the Knight's Vow coming out for him. He's once again going to be making sure Yutori has the resources he needs to carry the game. And, right now he's making a very strong case for him being able to do that.
yeah, Rampage is a very Utori focused team, and
Yeah.
they do it well. There are teams that would maybe play a bunch of different styles, kind of, sub optimally, but they try and mix it up. Maybe one game they play a poke composition, one game they play whatever. RPG knows what works for them, and they play to it every single game. And what's
Mhm.
astounding is that it works, right? Every single game. They were 8-2 in the last season, and they, finished the championship, won the LGL last season, off the back of Utori and this sort of supportive team that built around him. So it's well played and it's well done.
Yeah, it's really good to see. We do see, Tussle carries the early game, and then he's like, "All right, Yutori, here's the torch. You got the rest of it, right?" And Yutori's like, "Yeah, I got you, fam." And we saw that again. Tussle did, even with his weird aggression that didn't go nearly as well as he would have hoped it does, would otherwise. He still got a lead for his team overall. He provided a lot of pressure. Osterari did not provide nearly the same amount, and they're ahead in gold right now. They're up 2 turrets to 1, up the Ocean Drag. Mountain Drake's going to be contested very soon, so we're in a good spot for Rampage right now. The only thing they really need to worry about is Hollis just popping off right now. With the
Yeah.
Banshee's Veil completed onto Ramune, the other split pusher going to be Evie. it's going to be a lot harder for him to do that than it would otherwise.
Yeah, and Hollis would like to take a fight if he can. He has completed again, still up ever so slightly in terms of the item power spikes over Ramune still. So if they can find a great charm, it can absolutely murder a single member of Rampage, and that can be enough to take this Earth Dragon and maybe blow the game open.
Yeah, no, this is on patch 710. You can see that. You probably just realized that it's in the bottom left of the screen. But yeah, weird Renekton pick. We talked about that a little bit earlier. But Hollis is on the side, misses the charm,
Ooh,
and that's probably going to be it. There's not a whole lot left to do for the team. And
field goal. So close to making something happen there. Maisie does have the inside track on tier 2, which is going to get a decent amount of damage, but a
ooh,
great Weaver's Wall will, well, actually,
Evie's on
it's
the
not.
other side.
This
Zeros
is
is
a
kind
weird
of
Weaver's Wall.
stuck. Yeah, uh-oh. Zeros does manage to flash out. Tussel's in a bad spot. A lot of damage reduction coming out from Evie's ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. Good flash coming out from Zeros. That definitely would have been a kick and potentially a very different situation. But right now, Burning Core is going to shove in with 5 members against the 4. There's some good wave clear on Rampage's side, though. I don't think they're going to get a whole lot with it.
Yeah. Still, if you're Burning Core, you have to be pretty happy if you're picking up 1 kill. Uh, Given that you did lose the Earth Dragon,
Yeah,
finding any small advantage that you can to bring yourself back into the game is definitely worthwhile.
yeah. And there's a... we're just this is a very Japanese game right now. We're stabilizing around the 20-minute mark. It's not even Japanese game. It's just kind of like the meta right now. Just around the world, you often see this stabilization. One team's got a couple small advantages, but both teams are smart enough to play safe enough that there's not a whole lot, to really do until we start getting into these third, fourth dragons, the Baron, the Elder Dragon, and right now we're just going to see the teams stagnate for a little bit, and Rampage is in a much better position for that to happen than Burning Core is.
Absolutely. And we see now Rampage, as they come back onto the Rift, some new items picked up for them. The Phantom Dancer for Yutori Miyagi. This
I
is an
like it.
interesting change that I want to talk about a little bit. Previously, we saw Varus being a great user of the Runen's Hurricane because he really liked having the extra Blight Strack damage. But now, with the changes to Runen's Hurricane, it's not as strong as an AoE sort of item. And so Varus is just going to be happy to keep himself alive with the Phantom Dancer passive and focus on a single target instead of 3.
Yeah, and that's all he needs to do this game. He just needs to live through the Renekton, through the Ahri, and he doesn't need to do damage to everyone. He just needs to stay alive.
Yeah. If he does,
And
if he
St.
stays
Hamilton
alive, he
sense.
will probably out damage most of Burning.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
far, Xerath Zaya has not been that impactful, and so I think it's a safe bet from Rampage to just say, okay, we're just gonna again throw all our bags in the Utori basket and see how it pans out.
Do you think Zaya, Zero Zaya, this series has been less impactful because of the player matchup, or do you think it's just they're not taking the fights when and where they want to? Because they haven't really fought a whole lot in the jungle corridors where Zaya thrives.
Yeah, I think it's more option 2 than option. Zeros has been playing fine. He had the great flash ultimate earlier that we saw that
Mm-hmm.
allowed them to pick up a kill on Tussle. But they just haven't been able to find the engages. And, the...
Mm-mm.
Uh-oh.
Tussle goes in, gets the kick onto, Hollis. That's an easy pickup for
Oh,
Utori as well. They're trying to get a little bit more. Death Sentence not quite doing enough, but the Flay is, and that's another kill. And that's going to leave the Baron wide open. Both the mid laner and the jungler dead. Tussle and the rest of the team are going to go straight to the Baron. That should be pretty easy. We're going to have to see a TP coming out from Mei, but Evie's making sure he can't do that, and I don't think they're going to be able to do a lot.
hook lands.
Yeah.
Forces the ultimate.
And right now we're not, we saw Oh man, that is aggressive. Tussle goes over, trying to get a little bit more into Burning Core, but not doing it right now. And yeah, Burning
Yeah.
Core, I'm not super, I'm not super thrilled with their play this series. Yeah, Rampage should probably be the best team in the league. Um,
This
but
is
Bur-
this was like such a clutch engage from Tussle. Like he just had seconds to make that play happen
yeah,
before he was in a bad position, but able to find it. And then one thing that's interesting here, Ramune does not cancel the cancel the Weaver's Wall, so Tussle has to flash over for the Q in order to secure that kill. Maybe a bit of an oversight. Still works out for Rampage in the end. Very
I
happy to pick out that Baron as well as the top turret.
yeah,
But
I'm Talia. I am helping.
yeah,
Did you see that recent animation coming out with the Jarvan Yasuo thing? I'm pretty sure I sent it to you a while back, but it's just the Jarvan sitting there picking his nose while Yasuo takes turret shots.
yeah,
Same thing, really, right?
yeah.
But
Same thing.
yeah, BC is they had a lot of potential hype living up to them, and right now they're not making a strong case for being, a potential top team. I still think they're in, a good position to get probably fourth in the league. There's the three teams, right?
Oh,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
BC in a difficult position. This is really sketchy.
Good charm, lots of damage onto Tussle. Astrari also taken low. He goes in, not quite finding the last bit of damage, but he does finally go down. Ramne is finding more damage onto Legato, and Hollis is going to be able to escape. It looks like the Weaver's Wall coming out. There's nobody near him, but yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like Rampage going to smartly opt to take down this middle turret.
Uh-oh,
Oh no,
Zeros.
Zerost. Good flash. Has the ultimate as well. Wasn't sure if Dara was going to hit uh, the thresh hook or not, so opts to play it safe.
Yeah,
Uh,
also taking a
Tussle
good
being a little bit
chunk.
greedy. Should be okay though. He is delaying Hollis's back, which is just going to allow Rampage to easily take this inhib turret and possibly even the inhibitor.
Yeah, this is awkward for Rampage. They are at best going to be fighting a 4v5 unless they manage to back out. Osterauer is looking for something with no explosive cask and no other engage tools available to them outside of a glacial fissure. I think that's probably going to be it. Going to go to the Mountain Dragon. But Burning Core is looking to be fourth. They're going to be behind. They're clearly behind Rampage right
Oh,
now. Oh, yeah, and
absolutely destroyed. You see the strength of Talia pick uh, working around Vision. If you land the W, you can just absolutely murder someone. And Ramani making it work that time.
yeah, and they're going to be pushing up pretty smoothly. Does manage to steal away the large raptor. And Maisie and Hollis, we talked so much about them earlier. They are the two potential carries that Japan needed to really move around and really, change the way that they play the game. But they never played against players of this caliber in the Challenger Series. Evie and Ramune, Evie's quite possibly the best top laner. He's definitely got a good argument for it. Ramune is not even the best mid laner in the league. This is a league with Saros in it.
Right. Yeah. And I want to talk about Dara, though, because Dara has been making plays. She's really been the catalyst for the squad over the course of this series. Rampage gonna go ahead and back off. Not feeling too confident. They know that they have the inhibitor down in the middle lane, so they can either do a back cycle and be safe, or just push the top lane when the mid lane gets jumped in. Looks like they're gonna pick for the back cycle.
Yeah, and it's a good spot to do it. We do start to see a lot of item breakpoints coming out once again. We have the Leandres, Ludens, and the Banshee's Veil on Ramnes, so he's doing good damage. Infinity Edge coming out from Utori earlier, as opposed to the Quicksilver, which he opted for last time. He's not going to have the defense against the Charm this game around, or this time around, but he's got so much protection in Dara and Tussle and Evie that he's fine to build a lot of damage, and he's actually not that far ahead in CS anymore, which is not something we normally see from Utori. Utori's CS leads normally only grow, and he had so many 100 CS leads last season that it's actually really impressive to me that Zerost is not allowing that lead to grow. It's just the same as it's always been.
Yeah. To be fair, Zerost is playing perhaps one of the greatest farming AD carries ever made in Zaya. Very, very easy to clear a whole wave using her
Yep.
Rending
Oh,
E.
another death sentence coming out. Good taunt going on to Aurora. There's a blown up jungler. Tussel's not even
Oh
gonna get
no!
close. Hall is forced to flash the wall instead of use last part of his ultimate, and we see Rampage coming in. There's just slight missteps. Maisie's Renekton has done nothing this game.
Yeah, Rampage really, really playing to their strengths quite well. You see it time and time again. They just punish the smallest of the snakes so hard from Burning Core, and that's going to be the second inhibitor falling
Yeah.
here
Oh,
just
Ramade's
shortly.
going forward, getting a lot of damage onto Hollis. The damage reduction coming out is going to
Oh,
do a lot. Maisie is trapped in the middle of the enemy team, and there's a taunt onto two members. There goes Renekton. There goes. No, Brahm's not quite dead yet. He's only got a little bit left, but Ramani does end up falling. A 2-for-1 and an inhibitor coming out, and this is probably going to be just about the end for Rampage in this game. They're up 10,000 gold, the largest gold lead we've seen all game by a large margin. 3 dragons. Baron's coming up again in 50 seconds. There's 2 inhibitors down. There's not a lot left.
everything that you want.
Everything you want. I'll take a third inhibitor anytime, right? But
Sure.
yeah, like you're saying, Dar's Thresh is doing a fantastic job, landing all the death sentences he needs to, providing the safety for the rest of his team. And there's just, right now, the only criticism we can really have of Rampage, other than Tussle doing weird things at the beginning of the game, is just they're slightly slow on a lot of the calls that they make. They are only super willing to
Right.
do it even with such a strong team composition, we're not seeing Utori throwing out the corrupting chains as an
Like
engage tool.
immediately.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
they could
Takes
be
a moment.
Mhm.
Wait for Burning Core to make a play, to play aggressive, to catch out Aurora. I've been pretty satisfied with Ramane's Weaver's Walls, though. It's been putting
Yeah,
in work.
been good.
Doing work on that champion. RPG now, with 2 inhibitors down, look to take down the third with this siege. They do not have the Baron buff, so
That's
there's
fine.
a slimmer of hope. And if Burning Core can get a single charm, that's all they need. Charm on Utori should be the game. But look at that Weaver's Wall. Once again, cutting off the defense from Burning Core. It's going to be much harder to hold on to this inhibitor. Fortunately, they get the wave cleared down before.
Look at all the minions.
Yeah.
We're gonna backdoor them. We're gonna go through the base gates. And right now, there's not a whole lot. They still have all their ultimates available, but like you said, it's just a Charm or Maisie going in and doing something super aggressive. They're slowly getting poked out, and with the Mountain Drake and the Ocean Drake, they're just gonna slowly take this. And Burning Core has to make a move, but with Maisie being forced off to the other side of the map, there's gonna be the third inhibitor going down pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed to fight there. Oops.
Ooh, Corrupting Chains does miss maybe another avenue of movement for Burning Core, but they've lost an inhibitor turret, or a Nexus turret, excuse me, and the hook goes wide, but they have to make something happen right now.
Ramade's in a bad spot. Explosive Cast does knock him
Ooh.
back into the team, but the ultimate coming out of Abby is going to give so much damage reduction to that target. We do finally see Maisie going down, and Tussle finds Hollis on the backside, but there's not a whole lot left. Flay across the entire team, and this should be the end of the game. As they go in, they find Zeros, they find Maisie, they find Legato, and the only person left alive is Aurora. It looked like a good engage, but it is going to be the 2-0 going over to Rampage, solidifying their spot right now at the top of the league.
Yeah, clean and collected gameplay from Rampage going into game 2. They, level 1, level 2 was a bit of a struggle, but they brought it back. They came to their game plan. They said, okay, we're going to enable Utori as much as we can, and they just executed beautifully. Great ganks from Tussle to mitigate Hollis's impact in the middle lane, I think was especially clutch.
Yeah, 100%. And Rampage looked very clean throughout the entire series. They played a little bit slower than we often see a lot of other teams. They could have done a couple things to make Burning Core make more mistakes and get caught out. But, they won very cleanly. There was good play off of Ramune. Not the confidence we wanted to see from him in the second game, but very good in the first game. And, they were willing to wait for Utori to carry them. And that's Like you said, that is what Rampage does. That is what Rampage will continue to do. And Burning Core is not living up to the hype we wanted.
Yeah, I think Burning Core going forward really needs to find decisiveness in their shot calling. We saw, they had great drafts. They had fantastic drafts. They had that really cool flex for Gragas in the mid lane or into the jungle to give the power pick or lane advantage, I guess, on Renekton over Galio. That was awesome. They also, seemed very comfortable playing around the Ahri, but they just weren't able to execute.
Yeah.
They weren't able to. Perhaps having another champion besides Hollis to have like a really clear, decisive go button, something like a Malzahar support or something. While it's still around in 7.10,
If they had a
or some
Zac.
or a Zac, right? If Zac wasn't banned every game, something that very clearly says, "Okay, we're fighting now." I think that would really help Burning Core as they progress throughout the split.
Yeah. We do see Zeros and Yutori hugging there, two of the stronger players in Japanese League of Legends, but you know, Rampage is looking good. Burning Core again looking to be fourth in the league. They are going to be, they're going to change things up a little bit as they go because we're used to seeing Japan up until Spring Split was a two team league. Now they had three in spring with Unsold Stuff, and now Burning Court can make an argument to be the fourth, but with that kind of performance, we're not going to be able to see it.
Yeah. All right, Josh. Who's your player of the match? Since we're supposed to vote.
Man, that's tough. There is some great plays. I know MVP of Game 2 was definitively Dara.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitively Dara. Hitting all the hooks, hitting some great plays, creating so many opportunities for his team. But Evie basically single-handedly won the team Game 1 with the explosive cask. So I'm going to have to go with, I think overall, I'm going to have to go with Evie because he had the great explosive cask with the four-man
Right.
catching Hollis out. He did not lose the strong counter pick. It was 7-10 Renekton. Any other patch, I would have said it's an even stronger counter pick, but it was still a good counter pick. He still went even in that lane against Mei Z's Renekton, which is always very scary to watch. And he created some great opportunities. He wasn't as loud of a carry in Game 2 than he was in Game 1, but
Right.
his ultimates were great. His grand entrance providing so much damage reduction on the entire team, and we saw it in the last fight as well, saving Ramane's life. But it's still close. Definitely Evie and then Dara. And, Yutori was, as always, is the carry, but everybody else is just like, Yutori, carry us. We'll give you everything. And so if he doesn't carry, it's kind of like, okay.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. Evie played very well over both games of the series. Dara's Thresh looked very good. I would not be surprised to see that pull bans going later on into the split, especially just his lane pressure was insane. You saw him land a hook after hook after hook onto Zerost, and it wore them down, even though they didn't back for like 15 minutes. It was still, that gave Yutori so much time to build up that CS lead that, Tussle never had to worry about going bot lane. He's like, all right, you guys got it.
Yeah.
I can go help out the rest of the map. I can do weird one-man jungle invades because, my team has advantage or isn't losing in any of the lanes besides mid, so I can make those plays. And I like that the bottom lane of Rampage allows Tussle to do that from time to time.
Yeah, and it was good. Great play. I don't think Burning Core had a great take on the meta this patch, and we'll have to see. They won't play again until 7-11, I believe, on the next patch, which could favor them a lot more. There's some changes we see with like Mal, Zahar, Rek'Sai, and Kindred. which could allow a lot of different things. I'd love to see Tussle on Kindred. It's not quite his playstyle, I don't think, but it'd be very cool to see. The Zac, the Rek'Sai. We're seeing a lot of openings in the meta coming up, and it'll allow us to see the way teams want to play. And I feel like Burning Core wanted to play like Rampage, but Burning Core does not have the players to play like Rampage. So
Right. And I could see Hollis being a pretty decent Malzahar. I don't know if that's a champion that he wants to pick up, and I don't know if Malzahar is quite at that level. But just like I said, having a very, very clear engage button helps a lot of teams that sort of struggle to figure out, like, is this the right time? Is now the time that I can be the star, that I can take the kill and win the game?
I committed Nethergrass, so it has to be the time.
Yeah, right. I'm excited to see what 7.11 brings to the League of Legends. It's gonna be a wild ride. Still no nerfs for Zac, which is bonkers to me. Still a very strong pick.
We need more data, Zane. He's only
true.
been out for one patch at this point. We need more data before we nerf him. Same with Galio.
I mean, I guess I heard that they did hotfix initially. His Q, his stretching strikes, was doing a little bit too much damage, so they hotfixed it like the day after. But even then, just the amount of power in Zac's kit is truly astounding nowadays, and I can't wait wherever it is. If it's in the LGL, if it's in the LCK, if it's in North America, wherever we see that pick first picked up, I'm super excited to see it.
Oh, you should watch
stage.
LCK. I believe it was yesterday. They actually brought
Really?
it out, and it was so strong, so strong. He goes in, he kidnaps someone, or fails to, and then it's like, all right, peace, I'm out, because they paired it with a Thresh, right? And so he goes in. The Dark Passage is there. It's like, oh, didn't get anyone. It's kind of like the Fizz gameplay that we talked about. You just throw out the fish, or in this case, you just throw out yourself. It's like, oh, I missed. All right, I'll be back. See you in 30 seconds.
Yeah. So, going forward, Josh, what are you looking forward to in the LGL? Like, what matchups are coming in the next couple of weeks that you're like, man, I want to see these two teams battle it out?
Well, obviously Rampage and the new Detonation Focus Me, but that's a long ways down the line. We aren't seeing that until the end of the month. But tomorrow we get to see Detonation Focus Me's new roster. Paz goes back to the top lane, Yutapun goes back to ADC, and they bring in Steel, who was a sub jungler for KT Rolster last season. He didn't start in any games, so it's hard for me to really, look at what it is they were doing. But it's a good play. Has to be a good player. They released Zeros because of it, and so he's now on Burning Core, and there it is. Woo, go Evie, woo! But
we did it. it was our recommendation, clearly, that gave Evie the top lane player of the match.
But yeah, Detonation Focus Me is going to be really cool to watch to see how it is they do. I think they'll either be the third best team or the best team in the league by a considerable margin. So, we'll get to see them play against 7th Heaven tomorrow. And 7th Heaven has not had a strong showing in LGL for a while, but still, we'll get to see how they play around, get to see a little bit of Steel's playstyle, as well as some of the throwbacks with our other players. But
yeah,
it is 6 in the morning. I am really tired. I want to go to bed. I still have work in a couple of hours, so...
Same.
Any last words?
Pleasure casting with you, Josh, as always. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to read this. We don't have the best Japanese in the world, so we're not going to be able to see the player interview. I feel a little bit bad about that. But right. Evie has to be happy after that. Yeah, really happy to be casting the LGL. It's a lot of... for those of you who have never tried commentary, just quick shout out. It's a ton of fun. Do it. Try it. It's fun. It's fast. You learn so much more about the games that you commentate. Doesn't just have to be League of Legends.
Yeah.
definitely a good experience that I highly recommend.
Yeah, it's great. So anyway, we're gonna call it a night. Tune in tomorrow night at 1 a.m. Pacific time as we get to see Detonation Focus Me take on Seventh Heaven, and then of course Unsold Stuff playing Rascal Jester right after. It's gonna be a long night, but we're looking forward to see you there. Have a good night, everyone.
Peace out.